Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Lifting all 10 toes off the ground, spread them wide, and then place them down one by one from the pinky toe inwards to articulate the inner arches of the feet and activate through what we know as Hadha Bandha, which is the foot block. Lift up the kneecaps and engage the quadriceps, and then begin to pull up on the pelvic wall, lifting almost as if you need the toilet. And then you're going to scoop the belly up and back to create a lifting sensation between Mula and Uddiyana Bandha. From here, take a nice deep breath in and lengthen through the spine towards the crown of the head. Slightly bring the chin down in towards the chest, rotating the shoulders down the back, and spread the hands evenly alongside the body, open to receive the blessings. 3 nice long deep breaths in. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Audible breath. Inhale. Exhale through the nose. One more deep breath in. And one more deep breath out. Salute in the sun, Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, arms up. Prayer touching, gaze to the hands. Exhale, forward fold. Feel free to bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, halfway lift and look forward, shoulders roll back. Exhale, hands down, step back into a high plank. If you need to drop down to the knees first, then feel free, and then drop elbows halfway. Inhale, peel the chest for a baby cobra, or an upward facing dog with the thighs off the ground. And then exhale, send it back into your first downward facing dog. For this first down dog, feel free, you can bend into the knees or move into the hips. Start to get an understanding of how your body is feeling in space this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are, where you're practicing. And just notice that your physical body will hold on to tension, stress, traumas that you have not yet had the courage or the strength to release and let go of. Take a nice deep breath in and take a breath out. Prepare, bending into the knees, look forwards. You can step or you can lightly hop towards the top of the mat. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale and fold. Root and rise, raise the hands all the way to the sky. Samastitihi, hands alongside the body. And again, inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, follow the breath all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale again, step into a high plank. If you're ready for full chaturanga, then bend your elbows and lower yourself down. Keep the thighs off the mat as you pull and lift up into an upward facing dog. Exhale, 5 breaths, downward facing dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, gaze to the navel. 5, prepare, bend the knees, gaze forwards. Let's try a little hop to the top of the mat now. Look forwards and lengthen halfway. Exhale and fold. Root and rise, prayer high, gaze high, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale is Samastitihi. We'll take one more. Again, inhale, arms up, gaze to the hands. Exhale, forward fold, gaze to the nose. Inhale, look forwards, gaze to the third eye. Now this one, start to think about pressing into your hands as you shift onto your tippy toes. And then get nice and light into the feet, and then take a little jump back and land in Chaturanga, low push-up. Inhale, open the chest, breathe in. Exhale, 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, keeping the mouth sealed to warm up the body. 4, and 5. So this time, let's have a little play around with jumping up into a handstand to transition. Please don't worry if you cannot get it, okay? It takes many people many years and lots of repetition. I will break it down as best as I think is possible. So first of all, from your down dog, you want to take a shorter stance. So I like to walk my hands in a little closer. So as you can see, my down dog is a little shorter. And then from here, I'm going to ripple forwards and come onto my tippy toes. I then take a bend into the knees, sending my chest back. And then I use that momentum to have a little hop. Okay? So just notice the difference when I'm static and I am not moving and I bend the knees and I just jump. There's a lot of arching in my back. Whereas if I shift forwards and I use the momentum, I then bend, get light in the legs, have a little hop, whoop, and then I lengthen forwards. So again, you can try that a few more times. Bring in forwards, bend, have a little hop squeeze, use your fingertips, it's okay if you wiggle out of it, and release. And one more time. If you do manage to hold, squeeze everything in, keep the gaze between the fingertips, and then land the feet right in between the hands. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, fold. Now from here, we'll bend into the knees, start to shift onto our tippy toes, and lower the hips down onto the heels. Bringing your gaze towards the tip of the nose, and notice my knees are nice and high here. I want to try and get my knees a little lower so they're parallel to the mat. I will suck my tummy up and back, lengthening through the lower back, and then bringing in my hands out to parallel, palms to face up, and making mudra. 5 breaths. 1, 2, balance. 3, 4, and 5. From here, let's take the heels down to the ground and bring the fingertips behind the back. Make sure your fingertips are facing forwards and then lifting the hips nice and high into a reverse tabletop, allowing the head to drop back. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Slowly start to think about dropping the hips down, and then we're extending the hips back through the arms and pushing through the hands to lift up. And then we lift our hips back into reverse tabletop, and then lower the hips back. 3. Okay, one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, start to push the hips through. Now, options 1, you stay here. Options 2, you start to push, and maybe the feet come off the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Place the feet back down, lift back up into a reverse tabletop, and then exhale, lower the hips all the way down to the ground. From here, start to compress your chest towards your thighs and give yourself a little hug. Don't worry if your stamina levels feel like they're going out of the roof. It's all a matter of learning to breathe correctly. And again, learning to get the breathing right in yoga will take many years, especially if we have a history of asthma, respiratory issues, smoking. All of these things can affect how we breathe and move through space. So take your time. It's not a competition. We're not here for the Olympics. Okay, a little bit of core work. Start to bring your chest forward so that you're balancing right on the space between the sit bones. Slowly start to lift the legs off the ground. You can keep with a 90-degree angle. If you are feeling a little bit more hardcore this morning, then keep the legs completely straight and hands come out to the side, okay? We'll take 5 dips into low boat. Lower yourself down and lift back up. Lowers down, lift back up. Lowers down, lift back up. Lowers down, lift back up, keep the toes pointed, lowers down, and lift back up. Bring the knees back into the chest. Again, if you feel like you need a little rest, then you can keep the toes on the mat, keep the chest lifted. If you do want to go a little bit more hardcore, keep the feet off the ground. Bringing the hands into the heart space, we'll start to twist over towards the right, and then twist over towards the left. Simple twists. Really working through the side obliques, twisting, 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 twisting. How far back can you go? Twist, 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 twist. And this is not an exercise to be rushed, and you also want to make sure that you're lengthening and not collapsing too much so that there's not too much pressure into the lower back. If there is a lot of pressure in the lower back, you can keep the knees down, the feet down, and start to twist from this direction too. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to neutral and take a rest. Okay, so the transition that I'm going to teach you now is learning how to get from seated and into a vinyasa through a jump through, okay, or a jump back. So usually when we are jumping back into chaturanga, the feet will be off the ground and the hands down. How to get from this position into a high plank. Options all depends also on the proportion of your hands and legs. So if you need to use bricks, I do not have any bricks with me at this point in time. However, if you do have bricks at home, please use your bricks and take them either side of the hips. If you have not got any bricks and you're using books at home, please just be mindful of the books that you're using and make sure that they're not any books in relation to religion or spiritual texts, as these are knowledge and should not be left on the ground. These texts need to be higher up, away from the earth. So let's begin. Wherever you are, with or without your bricks, you'll cross the ankles into the chest, and then my hands will notice my hand positioning. They're not too far back and they're not too far forwards. In fact, they're just roughly right next to my hip. I'm going to press into my hands and see if I can lift my hips off the ground. So again, this will be easier if you do have bricks. I'm going to press, lift, and then just release. Okay, and then you can do that 2 or 3 times. Hands down, press and lift, release. Notice how does it feel in the body? And again, press, lift, and release. If that is feeling like it's incredibly intense for you, then I want you to stay there for at least the next month and incorporate that into your regular practice. The next step from this is learning to, as we lift, to bring the chest forwards and roll forwards, okay? So it's all about learning to work with physics and gravity in the space. Hands down, I lift and I roll, and then I release. Okay, so you see that action of the tilting of the chest, shoulders forwards, and then back, okay? So again, you can try that 2 or 3 times. Hands down, my ankles are crossed, press down, lift, and roll, and back. Also understand the positioning of my legs and my feet when I'm learning to roll back. They are going back through my arms. They're not staying forwards. They're moving back, almost like a seesaw action. Okay, so I'll demonstrate one more time. Hands down, lift, roll, and back. Now once you've mastered that and you're feeling pretty confident, all you have to do then is find the momentum to release the legs and jump back. So the legs go from a tuck position to a straight position. Okay, tuck to straight. I will demonstrate. Hands down, lift, squeeze in, and then I jump back. Okay, and then I inhale, and then I exhale into downward facing dog. Again, I will demonstrate one more time. Feel free to pause the video, reverse, reverse, reverse. Any questions, always drop me a message and I'm more than happy to help. Feet crossed, hands down. Keep the knees as close as you can to the body. Lift, roll, and then jump back, chaturanga. We then inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale, downward facing dog. Again, feel free to just pause the video. Feel free to try that a few times if you need to. These transitions are not things that happen overnight. It requires a lot of strength and a lot of determination, especially if you've not got any guidance there. So take your time with it and enjoy the process. From your downward facing dog, we'll simply inhale, ripple, roll forwards, high plank. Exhale, drop down to the knees and come into an all fours position. Inhale, arch the back, look forwards. Exhale, round, push the chin in towards the chest. Again, inhale, arch, look forwards, heart lifts. Exhale, push the floor away, round the chin in towards the chest. One more, inhale, lift, breathe, lengthen. Exhale, round yourself all the way in. And as you round it in, this time drop the forehead down to the ground and come into a child's pose. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Taking your rest in child's pose, we will start to finish the practice. And we'll finish the practice with a very short sequence of back bending. And yeah, it's just a nice little reverse flow that I like to take just to unwind. Feel the fluidity of the body, feel the fluidity of breath, and connect to this element of this and this space of water. So from child's pose, slowly start to drag the hands back towards the knees and lift yourself all the way up to this kneeling and allow everything to drip back. Rotating the chin down to the chest, rolling yourself forwards and come back into child's pose. So we'll do that 2 more times. Slowly drag the hands all the way back to the knees. Open, lift and send the heart to the sky. Exhale, round it all the way in and drop in the forehead down to the ground. One more like that. Inhale. Open the heart space, and then this time you can either keep the hands onto the lower back and start to press forwards, or feel free to reach back, catch a hold of the heels or the ankles and come into full camel. 1, 2, 3, press the thighs forwards, 4, 5, slowly and carefully rotate yourself all the way down and come back into a child's pose. Allow your body to drip. Allow your body to melt down into the mat. The head to be heavy. And then slowly tucking the toes under, lifting the hips to the sky, come back into a downward facing dog. You can bend the knees and jump through if you like, or you can simply lower the knees, drop the hips to one side, extend the legs out, and then make your way into a final relaxation, your Shavasana. Get yourself comfortable, get yourself cozy. Take any final movements that you need and then allow yourself to simply rest. I would recommend to rest here for at least 5 minutes to allow the body to cool down, for your body to digest, and for you to take rest. I hope you enjoyed, and if there's any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Lots and lots of love.